Artificial intelligence is the talk of the town these days. There's a lot of hype and investment. A lot of lines are going up very quickly. Today, I'm going to argue that this is far from a fad technology. The narrow-purpose AI that has been built so far isn't the real project of AI developers. The ultimate goal is systems that can replace humans at any task. The accomplishment of this goal would signal the end of the human era. This video is a summary and discussion of the recent essay Keep the Future Human by Anthony Aguirre. I'll cite anything not in the essay, but you should look there for more info. AI is different from other technologies. If you set your dial on your toaster to a certain number, you know how long it'll cook for. AI doesn't follow these explicit rules. As long as you can specify a metric for success, AI will learn to achieve it through means that you don't specify and can't always predict. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. A chessbot's moves are often unpredictable, for instance, and that's fine. But the point of AI is to do things we don't tell it to. So what do AIs want? As I said, AIs are simply trying to optimize some output metric. A chessbot's goal is obvious, but ChatGPT's goal is dependent on the instructions of a given session. Some AIs might have goals very aligned with its users, while others might not, and the degree to which that matters depends on the AI's amount of autonomy. Many AI systems are very passive. For instance, ChatGPT only says things when explicitly prompted. But more agentic AI systems are currently in development, systems that act less like a tool and more like a coworker. Imagine an AI system you can tell to recruit 50 potential customers, and it will go out and take a sequence of steps to achieve that result. Once performance is good enough, AI is called AGI, or Artificial General Intelligence. AGI is generally defined as bots as good or better than humans at nearly all tasks. Keep the Future Human makes the clever reframing of AGI to mean autonomous general intelligence. Something like Google's page sort is a non-autonomous, non-general intelligence, for instance. It's extremely competent, but limited in scope, and isn't doing things of its own volition. Right now, chatbots like ChatGPT are non-autonomous general intelligences, but autonomy is coming quickly. I see a lot of conversations about AI online. These conversations are often about whether AI is doing real thinking or just pattern matching. I enjoy these conversations, but in a way, they're sort of window dressing. Whether AI is actually thinking or not, the reality is that these models are scaling. AI currently beats Turing tests, exceeds humans on standardized tests, is rapidly improving at abstract problem solving, and is continuously improving on virtually all benchmarks. People tend to have some blindness when it comes to the pace of these advancements. Remember that no one was using chatbots basically at all until like 2 years ago. And consider the sheer scale of investment in AI right now. The spending alone is multiple times the cost of the Apollo project. If there is any chance of success, it will be found. To make this even more pressing, AI can be used to improve AI. We're already seeing that the success of current AIs is driving increased investment, and researchers are using AI to generate synthetic training data to train even better AI. Creating reasoning scaffolds for AI has been a hugely successful technique, and early experiments show that AI is capable of creating their own scaffolding. These capabilities will continue to progress, essentially magnifying the already huge investment in AI development even further. At the extreme end, a truly autonomous AGI agent would have the ability to mutate and improve itself in a way unrecognizable in any other technology. The timescale of real improvement could shrink from months to days or even hours. This sounds like crazy sci-fi, but as soon as AI is decent at doing AI research, this seems kind of inevitable. Let's take a step back. Who is pursuing these goals and why? This is important to understand before we consider the potential consequences. First, companies want to build AGI to replace workers. A truly autonomous AGI agent could do anything a human worker could, definitionally. OpenAI's publicly stated definition of AGI is a highly autonomous system that outperforms humans at most economically valuable work. The reward is obvious. If AI companies could take even a shred of all the money in the world spent on wages and salaries, they would win capitalism. Second, countries want to build AGI for security reasons. They might claim it's to boost their domestic science or research or something, but it's largely security. Leaders understand that AGI is a potentially catastrophically powerful technology. This situation is made worse by the competition of it all. Actors don't just want to develop AGI, they want to develop AGI first. They believe they'll be the ones to control AGI if they make it, and that the first person to do so will have enormous power. This mindset incentivizes risky behavior, a prioritization of efficiency over safety. It also makes it feel like no one can stop or slow development. The US wouldn't just stop AGI research out of safety concerns because they think China would just get it first then. So what happens if we build AGI in this environment? The key problem is that no human will win this race. Either no one will, or AI will. There's a lot of fairly obvious ways that AGI, or even AI as it exists right now, will have huge negative consequences even before we get into the real doomer scenarios. Firstly, there would be huge economic disruption. Society would not have time to adjust before a huge swath of jobs are replaced. Even if AI stagnates as is, this will be an issue. Companies are currently actively working to implement AI in ways that will replace workers. The expansion of AI capabilities will lead to huge unemployment and income inequality. One way or another, power will be concentrated into the hands of those with control of the AI agents. There's also issues like intellectual dependence, fake information, replacement of human culture, scam emails, easy junk lawsuits, mass computer viruses, surveillance, incomprehensible AI-driven financial markets, or the fueling of an international arms race. As I mentioned, some of these things are happening right now, but consider if AI was dramatically more capable. And there are even bigger issues. Namely, we would lose control of at least some AGI. ChatGPT will already refuse a request if you ask it how to build a bomb, and that's probably a good thing, but it shows that AI isn't built to do exactly what it's told. It's built to follow the values that we instill in it. The problem is we have no idea how to make AI care about the right things. And how do we know it'll continue to follow guidelines we give it once it has its own agency? Conversely, consider if a company instills some theoretically neutral goal like make money into an agent. That agent suddenly has an incentive to seize political power to deregulate the company's industry. AGIs won't be tools, they will be agents pursuing their own goals. The key problem with the race to AGI competition that many companies are currently engaged in is that the creator of AGI doesn't necessarily have control over it. The actor who makes AGI can be harmed just as much as their competitors. Imagine it's 2028. OpenAI, working with the US government, announces that they're 6 months from self-improving AGI. They're close to winning the race. But the US knows that getting AGI first isn't enough. They also have to stop their competitors from getting it. So how do you do that? Cyber attacks on Chinese data centers, bombing chip fabs, threatening military action? Or, in an even more likely scenario where the AI isn't under the US's control, things are even riskier for China. There's now a powerful rogue agent completely unaligned with their goals out there. From China's perspective, watching the US approach this capability looks like an existential threat. So China has two options. Build AGI as recklessly and fast as possible and try to beat the US there, or strike first to destroy US AI infrastructure before it's too late. Those are the only rational moves. And it's not just the US and China. What does Russia do when it sees both racing? India? What about AI companies that think they can do it better? Remember, these are nuclear-armed countries. Okay, but maybe you don't buy that AI will get out of control, and war feels unlikely. Even in this situation, we lose much of our agency as humans. Right now, students use AI in assignments because there's pressure for them to do well, and AI can often do the assignment better and easier than they can. As AGI improves, this delegation of control will just increase. CEOs or military commanders will be pressured to rely on super effective AIs for their decisions. At what point, then, will the role of humans be reduced to clicking yes, go ahead? And AGI won't stay at a human comparable level. We humans are pretty good at scaling AI, but AGI will be even better. Eventually, AGI would develop its own capabilities far beyond human skills, known as superintelligence. Superintelligence is, by definition, so much smarter than us that we have no idea what it would look like. But we do know we couldn't control it. A person controlling a superintelligent AI system would be like a fern controlling General Motors. The future would cease to be human. So what do we do? AGI is being pursued by many different actors who are all competing. This makes it hard to regulate. Everyone feels that if they don't make it, someone else will just make it first. Interventions, therefore, need to get a lot of competing groups to all agree. The most important thing to happen is that at least China and the US need to understand that AGI will not be controllable. If major state actors understand that developing AGI isn't just a tactical boon, but is also a legitimate source of risk, safety becomes a priority. With the most major players on board, an international agreement involving more parties can be made. This agreement would need hard and unambiguous limits on compute use. This would stop the most threatening, autonomous, general intelligences. This limit would be more enforceable than you think. Just like uranium refinement allows international verification of nuclear agreements, the supply chain for AI hardware would allow verification of compliance. At the same time, a faster-to-implement measure is to disincentivize risky behavior without banning it. By making companies heavily liable for the impact of systems at the triple intersection of autonomy, generality, and intelligence, we force them to internalize the potential consequences, incentivizing care. And this isn't preventing us from potential benefits to AI. We can get most of the benefits without the risks by making AI that is usable as a tool. To accelerate medical research, we don't need digital medical researchers, just useful tools for human medical researchers to use. And maybe at some point we choose to pursue things in the triple intersection, risking or even choosing superintelligence. That's fine, but it shouldn't be rushed into. That's a decision that should be made by all of humanity, not a handful of competing super powerful companies. Okay, so to wrap this up, I hope I haven't made you too pessimistic. If there's one takeaway here, it's that there's risk, but there's also real feasible things that we can do to avert any sort of AI catastrophe. And these sorts of actions will require broad public support. So try to spread the word as we try to keep the future human. Again, I highly recommend checking out the original essay. I'll put a link to that in the description, as well as links to any images or claims that I made that weren't cited in the original essay. So check those out. And yeah, I hope we keep the future human.